Can music and tech build the future of AI together? That's the premise of the question here. So at Future Forum 2026, Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. and YouTube Global Head of Music, now Lyor Cohen, took to the stage to address the complex intersectionality of artificial intelligence and music, insisting that industry-wide collaboration, rather than existential conflict, is the only way forward.
AI is ubiquitous in production of pop and R&B and some hip-hop genres of hip-hop music, period. It's everywhere. Every producer, every songwriter, every studio that I've been in, or people that I've worked with, every single one of them is using AI. Do you doubt that?
Why is that bad?
Every single one, though.
It's not bad.
I thought you said get real.
I just want to make sure everybody understands, because there's a lot of champions for human music only, and people feeling like AI is not using AI is cheating, or that's not music if it's coming out of AI. And you talked about this. We've both been through it, where people have said a lot of genres that we've worked on is not music, sampling is not music, machines and synthesizers is not music, not AI is not music. So I just want to make sure the room is aware, from somebody who's still in the studios almost every day, late at night, when you go into these rooms where they're creating music, AI is being used. They're prompting it, they're using it for lyrics, they're using it for chord progressions, they're using it for drum beats, they're using it to reproduce old songs. This is what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, he can be wrong. That's cool.
No, because he's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, so
I don't think he's wrong about seeing it. I think,
no, for sure.
He's right there, and I don't disbelieve him on that.
No, I fundamentally disagree with that this should be a standard thing. But anyways, let's pose the question. Do these industry leaders make a valid point about building a collaborative AI future? Or does their optimism overlook the financial and creative risks facing everyday artists?
I think it's definitely the latter. You know, when you're talking about the end of session musicians, the end of people who actually know how to use an SP12 machine or whatever, you know, I don't know the names, you know, MPC.
Yeah.
Because you've been able to prompt it into doing those same things. That's, I don't care what the end result is. It's not good for the creative process. It's not good for the future of music. I kind of cringe when I hear people say things like this, even though I feel like he's being real, because the toothpaste is out of the tube and you're not going to get it back in.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, but I think there needs just to be some guardrails. Like, I got an email from Tidal like a couple of weeks ago about like where they're going to basically, if any AI was used in the songs that are uploaded to their situation, they're going to make you aware of it. Yeah. And honestly, that's dope. That's really as close to the guardrail as we have.
I'm okay with that, though.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I just don't want it to be, I want it needs to be specifically like, it needs to let people know if there's AI in it.
Or if it's all like, you know, the girl who was all proud of herself on CBS, we talked about a few months ago, where she was like, oh, I created this whole AI artist. The voice is not real. The lyrics are written by a computer. The production is all done. Like,
is it that Joy Rhodes?
I didn't commit her name to memory.
She sounded like everybody else would be doing it. I think that her only thing was like she was writing songs
the lyrics
and having it sing it.
Okay.
But like with these dudes, it's easy for them to say that because they're in a position to where they're going to benefit and make money off of it regardless.
It's their position.
You know what I'm saying? They're chairmen, they're owners, they're already fixed in the music business to a point where whatever happens from here on out is not going to affect them negatively because they're moving the pieces around. They're not approaching this as the actual artist that they used to go look at and sign based on just pure talent. They're looking at it as, well, I can scratch off having to do a lot of my work as far as trying to find artists and just get an artist that kind of knows what they're doing and put them in a room with AI influences. So that, I feel like that's their point. They're kind of tone deaf and not necessarily in this for the love of the music.
What's that going to do for concerts?
Nothing.
I think what one thing that's very important with this conversation is to define to what extent are we talking about AI, right? Because there are, depending on what you want to call AI, I mean, you could call stems AI. Ableton released a brand new stems thing built within it to where you can right click on a song and it will go through and it will process and it will separate the drum beat from the vocals, from the melody, from whatever, right? Yeah. The bass. That's technically a form of AI in a type of way. But that is used in a very particular type of way to still craft, you know. That isn't to the extent of some other things. You know, there are MIDI chord packs out there. There are things that are developed all the time. Like there's a thing called, what's the MIDI chord thing called? You know, expressive chords. There's a thing called expressive chords, which is a Max for Live device with Ableton that you press, you know, there's a whole bunch of presets and it will just play chords for you. You can also adjust the strum. So I think from one perspective, yes, there are tools built into it that help the process that artists that are already artists will use that help the process in general. And I think that is fine. What I have a problem with is the protections that should be in place for the artists that are still creating stuff and them getting, you know, there has to be guardrails. There has to be regulations around it. There has to be some sort of thing that signifies, that tells people, like, did you use generative AI? Generative AI is realistically, in my opinion, when we talk about AI, that's the thing. It's like, did you put in this prompt and did it generate something for you? Generative AI is extremely problematic. AI that's a part of a tool, that's a part of something, that's a completely different type of thing.
Yeah, I know how you brought up sampling and was saying that was like, you know, one of the issues back in the day. It's definitely not the same.
I've seen firsthand where it has taken over an industry, and this is in reality TV. I was watching Netflix the other day, one of those dating shows, and every time they had a segment, there would be a song that matched directly with what was going on in that previous scene.
Oh,
and I was like, they're using AI.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I could see this being something that happens with licensing for records and stuff now. They're no longer going to be using regular music. They're going to create original music just for these scenes right now. And that will probably generate an AI artist. So,
yeah, which is the problem with this in general, is that the corporate owners, see, just here, YouTube Global Head and Recording Academy, you know, it's like two major companies here.
And what's crazy even about that is the couple of them got caught stealing music from YouTube.
Yeah.
Which, you know what I'm saying, obviously that's a violation.
It's great.
But like, if as an artist that doesn't use AI, you're at a disadvantage because AI is still taken from you.
Yeah.
And pretty much teaching itself to sound like and emulate your style. So I mean, yeah, I don't see how this is a win for anybody. I mean, obviously AI is here and it's not going anywhere. And it should be used within, you know what I'm saying, with caution and within reason, versus just on allowing it to just create, like you said, putting in a prompt. And whatever it spit out, that's the song. That's not creative at all.
Yeah.
And anybody that feels like they can get behind that ain't in the best interest of music.
It's all in the focus of capital, you know, and accumulating capital. You know, I always talk about capitalism, but I mean, that's what it is. You know, it's like, it's more so focused on what is best for the consumption and everything. And it's not what's necessarily best for the experience, the experience, and what's best for the labor, which the labor is the people making the music. You know?
Damn, the artist, like, what does it say for humanity?
Yeah.
Where when computers are generating music to make people feel emotion.
Matrix.
Especially in an industry.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, if we're going to go that far, you know, we already don't value music and art in society. And so, like, if we take it a step further, we have corporations that are extrapolating, pulling even more value from art, removing the artist completely, and and then it's just being generated by machines. I mean, you can say that that there are producers that are like, you know, making these things, but at the end of the day, it's like it just undercuts everything. It undercuts everything, and it makes, you know, you mentioned licensing. That's something I've been thinking about, talking about. I had that as soon as that came out, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I would use it for. If I didn't have any morals and shit, you know, that's exactly what I would do. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Write that prompt in. It's just going to make that product that much easier. But you know what that's also going to do? Residuals. That's how a lot of musicians eat. You know, that's going to cut back on people that are not only just, the thing is it's not just the artists that are making this stuff. It's also the people that are creating these databases that are talking to all these different companies and saying, hey, I got an artist that has something for that. Let me dip into this folder over here for this artist, dip it into their pocket. And it's just going to be just like one person that they're going to pay minimum wage to sit and just prompt some stuff.
As opposed to the person who controls all the sync licensing. Movies, television.
Professional prompter.
Yeah.
Yep.
$45,000 a year.
So with these generative platforms, which again, specifically, the thing that I have a problem with is, number one, the artists there needs to be a couple things. If this is going to exist and everything's out of the bottle, cool, label it. Needs to be labeled. People need to be able to very easily know what they're doing. And two, pay the artists that helped generate this thing. There needs to be residual royalties
forever.
Yeah, exactly. Forever. You know, like every single time something is played, I want my 0.00004 cents.
Yeah, I want all that.
But with generative platforms,
all the fries you can give me.
Making it easier than ever to prompt full tracks in seconds, how does the rapid increase of AI-generated content affect how listeners discover and value human-made music on streaming platforms?
I've noticed they ain't even paying attention.
They don't care.
Yeah, because literally, this is another topic about the website that we want to discuss. Wink, wink. They had this artist, and I see people commenting on the artist, and they're talking about it like they really don't know that it's AI. They have no clue. It's like, are y'all really that stupid that y'all ain't paying attention? A couple people was just like, I don't care, it's slap. So it's to the point where whether it's AI or not, people are going to consume it regardless, based on just, you know what I'm saying, not having a filter when it comes between real and fake. We are literally in the matrix right now.
And quiet as kept, I think that page that you're talking about is all AI. You know what I mean? You get the premise and you just run it through AI.
Yeah.
Post it. And
Well, I think one of the things that Byron said is just kind of the fact that we might have to have these emotional experiences with these things that were completely generated by AI. And that's going to be something that I think is going to be really sad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's going to eat at people's souls in a way that I don't think they're aware of.
Agreed.
To where, you know, you're having this, like, you know, you had your first kiss or your first fight or whatever, something happened, and it was to a song that was generated by a computer that just stole things from other things. And once again, there's people who are like, oh, I don't care, you know, but at the same time, you should care a great deal. You know, I mean, like anytime you watch a biopic and you see, oh, that's how they recorded, you know, so-and-so song. And, you know, even if there are some extras put on it, it's still like very cool to see, oh, those are the decisions that were made to create this song that has been, you know, played at people's weddings and become, you know, a part of just American culture.
I just watched Ray the other day.
Oh, yeah. You know, and then like
hit the road, Jack.
You're not going to have those moments with my buddy was sitting there with his MacBook and he piped in this, that, and the third, and that's the song that you played at your graduation.
No, I mean, I feel like you got points, both of y'all do, but in the same time, I think we're giving too much credit and credence to humans, because they really don't give a
No, that's like what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's like what I'm saying, even with songs that are written by humans, they still ain't listening to them. Like what's the name? Paul Bailey, not Paul Bailey. What's the name from Earth, Wind and Fire?
Philip Bailey.
Philip Bailey. he talked about the reasons,
Yeah.
and how people play that song at their weddings.
But he's talking about a one night stand.
He's talking about cheating. You know what I'm saying? And people are playing it. They're not lit. They're getting a feel
the melody,
for what's going on.
Just
the
like
melody.
People say, here, the closer I get to you, it's like, that's not a song you should play at a wedding.
Now, what I will say, the point that you made stands for an overall type of acceptance. So, like, if we're accepting AI, it might start at music. We already know that they're modifying our food and things of that nature. More things that we accept as AI, the further away we're going to get away from as far as being connected to humanity, because you're not going to experience the same thing that you're supposed to experience as a human being based on everything's artificial. So, like, even without the music, the food, VR headsets where you just put it on and you experience wherever you're going to be at, and who's to say that won't turn into vacation spots? Like, the world is so up, you got to put on a VR and pay
Ready Player One
60. Yeah, you got to pay $60-$70 to go on vacation. All your friends got on their VR headsets, and then you're experiencing artificial food and drinks and shit.
Yeah.
While you got it on.
Wally.
Your body gonna tell you different though. Your body gonna be able to tell you you not at no beach. Your skin gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of this is good enough. No, just the idea of this is good enough.
Sims.
Yeah.
It's real life sim shit.
Look, there are people. There are people who watch people play Madden instead of actually watching a football game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that are good at Madden.
There are people that'll watch a football game instead of go play a football game.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think there's a place for it. Maybe. I feel like it's detrimental in general to the human experience. But if AI exists in a place to where if I look at this from a Karl Marx perspective, and we have robots and AI doing the work that people don't need to be doing so that humans can go and do the things that they want to do. And it's not not everything is required to like we don't need to make art to make money. Then it's not a big deal. But the fact that we're in a position right now to where like artists they matter and they exist. And in this particular, until we reach that point, this is destroying an industry.
Man,
and so
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
What is that going to do for creative outlets? You know what I mean? Like they did it they were trying to do it with what is it? What were they doing it during COVID? It was the digital tokens.
EFTs.
Oh,
yeah.
NFTs was like,
man, that was some bullshit.
Yeah, it was electronic art that you could keep for whatever. So
a bunch of apes dressed in some bullshit.
Yeah, it was them doing it was a small way for electronic or
non-fungible tokens,
a way to create digital art to really take away from artists. So that was.
I don't think it was so much that, but it was a way for if, say, that art is sold again, like the originator was able to still see revenue.
But you can't do that.
Some kind of key involved.
It's not tangible.
Yeah, it was.
Well, they made it tangible to where like the coding on this would specify.
How do you code a painting?
Well, I mean, if it's on the web, there's what I'm saying, back end, you can go in there and see it.
I'm talking about actual something where somebody put paint to brush to canvas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not doing.
Yeah, you got to get all your money up front.
The code is the signature.
Yeah,
but I think that was a social experiment to see how people would buy into it, and a lot of people did buy into it. A lot of people lost a house and the farm on that shit too.
Yeah. I think if that's the way the digital world is going, I think it is. It does show equity in the sense that, like, if I make a song, people can buy into this song. They can have ownership equity within this song. The artist could sell bits and pieces of it. It's almost just like selling it there's nothing different from selling your music and 1,000 people, whoever buy this song, they get percent of ownership of it, which means that they're invested into it.
Like the Packers.
I don't know what that is.
Packers.
Oh yeah, you can buy
team.
shares of the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you can buy shares of it, but it's as opposed to like a streaming company where my song can be out there just streaming and there's a middleman in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think
that's a dope idea.
It makes sense from a digital perspective. It didn't jump off, and I don't think it translates into the real world unless you have like a barcode or something.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think it's just for the digital world. You know, digital art.
None of you bought an NFT back in the gold rush.
I had Lonegevity something ETH or something back in the day.
Okay,
I didn't buy any NFTs, but
I didn't buy any monkey paintings with army hats on.
I bought a homie of mine's NFT.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was stupid. A lot of it felt dumb.
Because at one point they were trying to sell like NBA highlights.
I bought those.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you have some you own right now?
Whoever was the rookie I bought several Pacer players and a couple throwback player NFTs or whatever. And
what were they called? NBA Pop Shot or something like that?
Yeah. And I think I ended up getting a small change check from the NBA. Yeah, it was change.
It wasn't even $4.
No.
But I think that's the thing that I do like about the idea is it's from this like it's like super equitable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you buy into the thing, and it's trying to pay the people, the creators. So I just mentioned the Mark stuff, right? But it's like people creating it, the labor is the value, as opposed to the system we're in now, to where like everything is owned by the capital owners. Everything is owned by, you know, who profits from this? Lyor, Cohen, and all them, you know, Harvey Mason Jr. I don't know what the Recording Academy, how they make money necessarily, but you know, like these big companies are going to make way more money than the artists are. So I like that idea of it. You know, it's kind of reshifting or redistributing the wealth a little bit in a way that kind of makes a little bit of sense, but still, I don't think that's
No, that's not. That's not their intention.
Yeah.
You know, when they talk about
but that's why there was
things.
pushback to it as well.
Yeah.
They just want that money.
I don't know, man. I think, I mean, AI is here, you know, and as opposed to, you know, planting a bunch of bamboo around the data centers and stuff like that, you know, it's coming, you know what I mean? And unless we have like serious regulation around it, it's going to be here. But I do think that I think at the very bare minimum, I just want to know. I want a very clear, distinctive thing on anything that has AI that's a part of it. I just want it to be like, this is AI. This is AI. Because as an artist, that makes me feel a little bit better about putting stuff out into the world to where like, I know that people aren't going to confuse my stuff with potentially having AI. They know immediately that it's going to be like a person. And, you know, I think that little bit of it, even though it's crumbs, I think that's better than nothing.
Yeah, I have noticed too that like even online when people post stuff, it says AI content. Even if you can't tell that it's AI, it'll have it at the top of the post if you're looking for that.
Yeah.
So there is, you know what I'm saying, the fine print, so to speak, when it comes to it. Because I mean, people are out here eating off that AI. Like there's OnlyFans chicks whose all of their content is AI.
Yeah.
And people were so stupid.
Out there wishing them good morning and sending them money.
Yeah. What the hell?
Well, I think
it's crazy.
It's crazy when we talked about NFTs. Now I almost think, and it's not the very same concept, but almost if you have any piece of art out there, if you have a song or a scene from a movie, almost all of that is kind of a non-fungible token. Because since AI can't build anything on its own, it's taking that from somewhere.
Sure.
And so, you know,
that's essentially what we're asking for as artists.
Yeah. So if they can build all this other shit, they can build the apparatus.
Absolutely.
That says, okay, when they created this song, it stole this from Jay-Z, it stole this from Lonegevity, it stole this from Pope Adrian Bless, it stole this from Stevie Wonder to create whatever.
Well, they're doing whatever.
And so then that's how you distribute the money.
Yep. See, what they're doing is they're doing whatever they can.
The shit out of them.
They're doing whatever they can to cut corners. Just like they can build these facilities, these AI facilities or data centers, and not have to use the water supply. They can use other forms of coolant, but it costs a lot more money. So they would rather deplete the water supply in a community because it's cheaper for them to do that. Mind you, they don't live in these communities.
Of course not.
So there's things that they can do to safeguard people and things, and even this technology, but it's not as financially beneficial to them. So they refuse to do it, essentially.
Look, let AI really take over, and it's going to realize that I don't want to live here in the hood. That's where they want to put all the data centers. I want to live by the water
and watch the water.
And then all of a sudden, it's like we weren't going to build this by the water, but something when the planning changed. And Skynet decided it wants to live by the water, just like you want to live by the water.
Skynet,
and they about to start awakening all them aliens that's in the water.